AskReddit by Nusha Boy. What's quietly disappeared in the past 20 years without many people noticing? People having their watches set to slightly different times. I remember being with friends and making sure we synchronized our watches when we had to meet back up at a specific time. Telephone booths. Which, by coincidence, were also the way out of the Matrix. So in Australia all telephone booths are owned by the same telecommunications company. About 10 years ago they made all calls for free from them as the revenue they were bringing in were less than the $sign it took for technicians to go out and collect the coins. They now also operate as free Wi-Fi spots, providing you hand over your email and PI which they would then unsolve. Privacy. You gotta approach every public interaction these days with the possibility that it will be filmed and put on Twitter. Variety. Everything is becoming the same 10 mega corporations. Just waiting for Ford, Meta and Pepsi to merge. At Fetsy, we already know everything about you. The compact, 4-cylinder, 2-seater, no-nonsense pickup truck. If you want a pickup now it has to be a massive luxury tank that costs 80 grand. My wife had 97 Ford Ranger, single cab, 5 SPD, 4-cylinder, XLT when I met her. It hated gas. What a great little truck. The hole in the ozone layer. https://www.cnbc.com/amp/2023/001/the-earth-dash-ins-slowly-recovering-un-report-finds-slowly-recovering-un. I didn't expect much positivity in this thread, so this was nice. Home phones. It's funny how when you fill out forms these days, they still ask for your home phone number and then your cell phone number. Malls are slowly dying in America. I was actually quite happy to see how busy the mall I visited this weekend was. The local mall by my house is about 80% deserted now. The only thing keeping it going is the bowling alley on the same site. You know what is weird? It's this way for most malls that got overbuilt during the 90s. But well-located malls built in the 80s or earlier in prime locations are doing better than ever. Again, this is not to say you're wrong, but it's only really happening to excess malls that got made obsolete by online commerce. Car colors that aren't shades of white, gray, or black. Yes, why are we becoming duller and duller in our car color tastes? And here I hardly ever see an actual black car. Gunmetal gray, silver, light gray, death trap gray, almost same color as the bitumen, all variants of silver, gray, and white. It is exciting to see a blue or maroon car now. Quizness. Boredom. People used to spend so much time with nothing to occupy their minds aside from their own thoughts while standing in line, sitting in a waiting room, etc. Now everyone reaches for their phone to fill every minute of downtime. I turn off my daughter's, 16, phone for 4 hours on Sunday afternoons. At first she complains how she's so bored, but then I always later find her painting or drawing or learning a song on her guitar. Newspaper vending machines. I used to see them everywhere as a kid. Saw one the other day and realized I hadn't seen one in years. Kind of seems like a crazy concept now. You would put in $50 and it's on the honor system that you pull out just one newspaper. As a kid, I used to take all the free Monopoly pieces out of each one when the promotion was going on. I don't think I knew what the honor system was, or realized that I was being a giant piece of shit. The amount of product in their respective packages. Packages roughly the same size but the actual amount of product. Shrinkflation. Bugs splattering on the windshield on the freeway, due to decreasing populations. Yeah, where have all the fireflies gone? They used to splat on your windshield at night and you would all this glowing goo on your windshield. I don't know what the word would be, but 20 years ago we had 1 hour of news a night. Maybe a newspaper. Now with social media and cable and all the rest we are smothered with news and opinions and worldly commentary. It's impossible to not feel disoriented. While at the same time the amount of quality news has diminished. A good amount of biodiversity. Access to information without being bombarded by ads. Now it's information that is specifically gauged or even paid to be at the top of your search list. And if it's not already early written, it's mostly fake information or useless. Spontaneity. Everything needs to be pre-booked and prepaid before doing it. Newspapers. My zest for life. Coral reefs. This one came here to say this. It was huge back in the 90s that we needed to save them. No, you don't hear anything about them. Over 50% of the world's coral reefs have died in the last 30 years and up to 90% may die within the next century. Over 2,100 species of animals and 60 species of plants. People asking ASL in chat rooms. 16/F Cali 1 the cyber. Ownership. Yes, everything is subscriptions and leases now. Payphones. When I was in the US Navy, 83-89, I remember pulling into ports and there being banks and banks of payphones, 30 or 40 back to back. There were several sets of these. When the shop pulled in, all of the payphones were occupied. That was the heyday of the AT&AMP T calling card. Enter the numbers, make your call, and it was billed to the account it was tied to. I had my number memorized.